Hey guys, another week, another game dev vlog, and this week I have been starting to get back into kind of the flow of working on Rotate and getting back into development. After like the past few weeks where I've barely been getting anything done, it's really gotten me to a point where it's hard for me to really get in the right mindset to actually get anything done. And well, this week, while I haven't gotten much done, I have felt like I'm getting momentum, I guess is the word for it. Now, what I've been mostly working on this week has been stuff to do with Everybody Edits. First of all, like, there was obviously the update last night / this morning. That was the April Fool's / Easter update. There's some interesting stuff going on over there. You'll definitely want to go check that out. There's like a whole Easter egg hunt going on. I think everyone's pretty much solved where it is. So if you want to do it for yourself, just avoid the forums, or at least the forum post about it. Other than that, there's a few different Easter egg things for April Fool's, just little things hidden here and there, some sounds replaced, a few graphics. But we also did a couple serious changes, mostly to do with what I was talking about last week, what I started on then but finished up just yesterday, and that was the font changes. So we actually implemented that. There's only like one place so far that I've noticed that it kind of broke how some of the text wraps in one place. That's not really a big deal, we can fix it later. But basically, in case you didn't catch last week, we changed some of the letters in the fonts, primarily the main small pixelated font. We basically made some of the letters more distinguishable from different numbers, so the 5 now looks slightly different than the S, and the 0 has a dot in it, which people seem to have noticed. It's basically just to make sure you can tell which letter or number is which, so you can't like pretend to be someone else's name or stuff like that. It just makes things a little more clear. Also, we made a standardized set of characters instead of, well, the font had strangely like uppercase and lowercase looked very similar, except certain letters were slightly different stylized, so some were more square, some were more angled. Well, we decided to make just a standardized set for both uppercase and lowercase of the letters that are most commonly used in the game. We also fixed the thing with the right parenthesis, how sometimes it would show up very strangely with like a stretched out block behind it or whatever. We fixed that. Actually, it seemed to just be a problem with how that character was encoded. I just replaced it with, well, a flip version of the other one, and it works just fine. So, yeah, just a nice little fix there, so it doesn't look really bizarre in the world list and such when people have parentheses around things. Anyway, other than Rotate and Everybody Edits, some other stuff that I did this week was to do with my game engine, the Frost engine. Well, now it's called frost2D, and I actually, in the middle of the week, went ahead and bought a domain for it. frost2d.com was actually available, so I decided to jump on that before anyone else grabs it up. There's this whole thing where people sometimes buy domains, especially really short ones like that, and then resell them at ridiculous prices. I didn't want that to happen, so I just went ahead and bought it just to be safe, considering how short the domain is and how perfect it is for what I need. It's not like it costs that much to get a domain, so I'm glad I got it. But yeah, frost2d.com is now something that I own, and actually I got a page up there. It doesn't really have much other than that basic logo. I'll go ahead and link down the description, even though there isn't much there, just in case you want to go check it out. I've also been doing some experimentation for structures for the site. The basic idea is that I'm going to be coding the main part of the site myself, just my own basic structure to make sure it loads fast and does what I need it to. Then there's going to be the blog. I'm going to potentially use WordPress there if I can get it to run lightweight enough. It might be able to, or I'll look into other lightweight blog options there. And then there's going to be a community forums at some point later on down the road, once there needs to be more community engagement with all this. Basically once a lot of people start using the game engine, if it ever gets to that point, I don't know, we'll see. But then I'll use whatever form software I choose there. There's a whole bunch of different options, some more modern than others. I'm not sure how structured I want it to be. I'll look into all the options there, and maybe people can give suggestions once we get to that point. Anyway, I'm not too worried about the forums or anything. Even the blog is going to be a little while until I get there. Actually, the whole site is going to just stay as what it is right now until I actually get working and near releasing the first version of frost2D, basically the new revised version of what was the Frost engine. So yeah, we'll see where all this goes. I have an idea for a program that would help for asset creation and all that, and I don't want to like getting over my head and trying to do too many things, but I do feel that these tools are needed for the kind of stuff that I want to do, and I might as well make them publicly available and open source where possible. So basically all that stuff's going to be after I get Rotate done, and at that point frost2D will basically be my primary work. Of course, work on everybody else is going to be pretty important, but the thing is why this would be my primary work is because for the Everybody Edits reboot, chances are we're going to be using this because, well, it's a system that I'll know is stable, I know how it works, and I know how to put it to its best use. Basically be able to make it run as optimally as possible for the game, keep everything lightweight and simple, and the code base easy to manage. I'll also be continuing work on ideas for the world renderer, for physics for the game. We're also going to be figuring out any networking stuff because I think it's pretty unlikely that we're going to be continuing using player IO for the multiplayer functionality. We're probably going to be moving to our own sort of server solution, of course utilizing any libraries where possible to make things simpler. There's obviously going to be a lot of thought going into that. Like, obviously there's a bunch of different factors when it comes to the service, because it's not even just about making it multiplayer. There's from the file server to save data, database stuff. We need to make sure that everything is secure. We'll also need to look into the payment systems, because even stuff like that, like, I mean, that's something that Player IO does. Clearly it's not too hard to implement. It shouldn't be, I don't think. So we'll figure out everything over the course of this year. There's definitely going to be a lot of work going into the reboot to make sure that it's all set up the best way possible. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Anyway, I think that is going to have to be it for today, so if you enjoyed this video, maybe learned something, be sure to leave a like, maybe a comment, and definitely subscribe for more content from me in the near future. So yeah, I'll see you around. Goodbye.